Florida Man Fishing here with a long form tutorial. Today is how to tie a chicken rig. This is for dropping at the bottom of the ocean, you know, fishing for like mangrove snapper, vermilion snapper. You can catch yellowtail this way. You'll also get a lot of bycatch of like porgies and grunts and stuff like that. So what you need is you need your 3 hooks here. You need your spool line. I'm using 50-pound right now. You need a barrel swivel and your weights for the end. And then you need a piece of line, a mono that I just cut off that about 1.5 feet long. So we're going to go ahead and start. And when you're tying a chicken rig, you want to start from the bottom. And 50-pound mono is a little beefy. If you're not used to tying, it can be a little difficult. So when you're tying with this heavier line, you want to make sure you use extra tag. The longer your tag end is, the easier. So we're going to put this barrel swivel on the end here. And we're just going to do a regular clinch knot. So that's around once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, around 7. And then you're going to go back through the loop at the end of the swivel there. And then when you're tying these heavier mono, you want to make sure that you pull this line, this knot, as perfectly in line as possible as you can. Because then when you cinch it down, it cinches down a heck of a lot easier than if you let it loop on itself. And then we're just going to pull that nice and tight there on the swivel. Cut our tag end off. And then we're going to take this loop of line that we have, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to double it up on itself. So you're just going to fold it in half. Take the 2 ends of line there, right on each other. So then you're going to have a big loop here. And you're going to put both of these through the end of this swivel. And then you're going to do the same kind of knot, but you're just going to do it with 2 lines at once. Make sure you put both of them through the swivel. And again, with this beefy line, you want to have the more tag line or tag length, the better. 1, 2, 3, 4. You only need to go around 5 times on this one because the 2 lines are there together. So the knot's going to be a lot beefier. And again, same thing. When you go to cinch it tight, make sure that knot is in line with itself there. Then we're just going to cinch this down. Sorry, my hands are getting a little sweaty from that light here. It's a little hot. And then, same thing. Cut your tag end off there. And the reason you put this loop on the end, this is going to be the bottom, because it's an easy way, then you can swap your weights back and forth. So we got a 16-ounce bank sinker here, also known as a pound. You put the loop through the end there, and then you pull it, and then you just put the weight back through the loop, and then you just loop it like that and pull it tight. And then as you can see, it's just looped there in place. And then say you were to drop this down later, you realize there's more current than you thought, just reel it back up into the boat, and then you can just pull the line, put the weight back through the loop, take it off, and then if you wanted to go up to your 2-pound bank sinker, these are the only ones I had sitting in the house, so that's why I'm using them for an example. Do the same thing. You feed it through the loop, put the weight through the loop, and then again, pull it tight, and that's how it looks if there's a ring on the end of it. But anyways, we're going to take this weight back off because it's going to be a bit easier to tie without the weight. So then you want to just come, I don't know, like a foot up from that swivel. So we got the swivel there. We're going to come up about a foot. Get some extra line here. Come up about a foot. What you're going to do, you're just going to take a loop of line like that, right? Pinched here between your fingers. And then you're just going to do a little overhand knot and just go through the loop twice. So that's through once, that's through twice. Then you want to give it a little bit of extra room there. We're giving it about there. So then you're going to pull it tight a little bit. And then you're going to go pull the 2 ends of it right here. You're going to grab above it and below it and just pull, and that'll tighten in on itself. And then this is where the first hook's going to go. So what you do is you just take your loop, you squeeze all the way down to the end of the loop there, and then you pinch that and you put it right through the eye of the hook. So you're going to take that, so then you got your loop sticking through the eye of the hook there. And then what you do is you just feed the loop. We're going to do similar to what we did on that weight. You're just going to feed the loop around that hook and then pull that tight. And it's going to do the same thing there. The line's just going to loop onto that hook. And then you're going to do the same thing. Come up a little further. We're going to go a little less this time. Let's do like 8 inches. And then again, and it's a very it's a balancing act you got to do here. And then you're going to do the same thing with the overhand loop. Not once. Pull it through twice. Because you want to make this little loop here, you want to make it long enough that the hook can get a little bit, and then you're going to pull that tight again. And you're going to want to make this loop long enough so that the hook can be away from the line a bit. But if you make that too long, then the hook can start to get tangled on the line and loop back over itself. And then we're going to do the same thing here. You're just going to push that loop through the eye of that hook like that, and then just feed the loop over that hook, pull it tight, and then same thing with the third one. Just measure it up a bit, and then you're going to loop it around, and again, just go through twice. Pull it through once. If you don't go through twice, these loops are not going to, the knot's not going to bite, and these loops can get pulled out if you get a fish on. So you just pull it a little tight there. And then this is the most important part, is pulling from above it and below it to get that knot tight on itself. And then you're going to do the same thing a third time. You're just going to pinch that little knot loop there. You got a little loop right in the end between your fingers. And you push it right through. Oops, sorry. Hands are getting sweaty again. Push it right through the eye of that hook. And then the same thing one last time. Just put the loop of the line around the hook like that. Pull it tight. So then again, that line can sit like that over the shaft of the hook, the shank. And then you're just going to come up. Give yourself a bit extra line here. Cut it. And then now you need your other swivel. And you're going to just put this on the end here and do another just fisherman's knot, whatever you want to call it, cinch knot, fisherman's knot. And you don't have to use this 7 around and back through knot. If you prefer a different knot, you can use that. This is just the one I do. So that's around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, one last time, make sure you pull this knot. See, because if it curls around like that, it's real tight. It's real hard to tie this knot. So you get your tag end, and then you pull it back straight like that. And then you pull that tight. You cut your tag end. And then you have your whole chicken rig here. So you've got, and then so you'll just tie this end of the swivel to the line of your fishing rod, and then you got a little bit of line here. Then it comes down, you got your first hook here, and you keep coming down. Then you've got your second hook here. You keep coming down, you got your third hook here, and then you keep coming down, and at the end, you'll have your loop here that again, you're going to use to put your weight on. And this loop is tied to that barrel swivel at the end. So one last time, you do that. So then we'll give it to you here with the weight on it. So again, at the top, you got your barrel swivel. That's going to go to your fishing line on your rod. As it comes up, you got one hook there, you got a second hook there, you got a third hook there, and then you got your weight hanging off at the end from your barrel swivel. And there you have it. That's a chicken rig. I'll fish this anywhere from like 30 feet out to like 200 feet. In any kind of, you can fish wrecks, you can fish ledges, you can fish rock piles. in the ocean, anything really, and I'll just either chunk up squid or ballyhoo and just put chunks on each of the hooks, and you just drop it down and you just wait. I went out this past weekend and I was in 200 feet, and the second this chicken rig hit the bottom, the rod tip was already wiggling because fish were having a heyday. We were pulling out all sorts of mangrove snapper. We pulled out one yellowtail snapper, which is a bit rare. Got a lot of grunts, some porgies. We were looking for vermilion snapper, couldn't find any, but there you go.